Yankee?
The New York Yankees!
Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, Costanza?
I must say, with all due respect, I find it very hard to see the logic behind some of the moves you have made with this fine organization. In the past 20 years, you have caused myself and the city of New York a good deal of distress, as we have watched you take our beloved Yankees and reduce them to a laughingstock, all for the glorification of your massive... The little light is blinking right now. Come and listen to the idiot. Hey, everybody, the idiot's on.
How you doing, everybody? I'm back. This is It's Over Yanks. I'm Michael, and I was Costanza. You know, I'm just going to do another show about the Yankees. It's been a while since I've did a show. I've really haven't any negative to say about the Yankees lately. They've been doing great. They're in excellent shape. I believe their record is 35-17, and they're in excellent shape. And I just wanted to do a few, just things where I want to do a couple of things where I think this team, what this team needs, and what they have to do at the trading deadline. And yeah, man, it's really, there's really nothing negative to say about this team. But I would just want to DF Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo out of there. I think they got to go. And we need some relievers in the bullpen. I think we have to get maybe like a reliever or two, and maybe a starter, because you never could have enough pitching. And away we go with this team. I think they're rocking. They're playing great. They just won today. They're about to, believe it or not, resume this game, which I think they should call it, because it's supposed to be a second game, because it was a doubleheader, because it was a rain out last night. So get into that. Yankees are up 6-1, so they should call this game. If you ask me, I don't think there should be a resume, and they should. It's the ninth inning. Just call it, because it's supposed to be a second game. So looks like we're going to take this series, and I think we'll sweep. And the Yankees have just been rocking, man. They're red hot. They're excellent. They have the best record in baseball. And you can't say enough about this team, man. I think we're World Series ready. I think we could win the World Series this year. I think this team is maybe a few pieces away. And these fans have to stop with these rain delay, these rain out pandemoniums on Twitter. It has to stop. It's getting a little – you guys have to calm down with the rain out. So that's all I see. If there's 10% chance of rain in the forecast, these fans freak out and say, oh, the game's going to get canceled. The game's going to get canceled. It's not going to get canceled. They're playing tonight. They played today. Yeah, there's been a lot of rainouts in the past, but you know what? A lot of times there was rain and they played. So what is all this? Get a retractable roof. That's it. And this ends this whole entire drama with these I don't have to hear this crap with rainouts anymore. And it's going to be a rainout. It's like it gets to be too much, man. This is just New York for you. Everybody panics here when we get bad weather. But getting back to the Yankees, I think they're phenomenal, this team. Their starting pitching is outstanding. Outstanding, their pitching. I've never seen starting pitching like this since the 90s. This is like since 90, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. This is the best pitching staff I've seen in my whole life. You got Garrett Cole, Cortez, Severino, Tyone. It's just terrific. There's not one pitcher in this rotation that's bad. Everybody has a low ERA. Just what I wanted. Just what the doctor ordered. Great starting pitching. And pitching wins games, and great pitching beats great hitting, and that's the key. And I think the Yankees, as they're constructed right now, this team could win a World Series. I think they have to make a couple of moves. Like I said, another starter would be great, but then somebody would have to come out of the rotation. So I think you should just go with a six-man rotation. But their starting pitching isn't the problem. I would grab maybe a reliever, and I would get maybe a center fielder. They have to get a center fielder. I was going to say maybe Ben Vintendi, Brian Reynolds. That's an option. And catching, they're good. I think Jose Trevino has taken over the role. He's awesome. He's the starting catcher of this team. I love the guy. So I don't think they need a Wilson Contreras or anything. But they do. I do think they need another outfielder, and they have to get a reliever. And Ben Vintendi would be perfect for this team. He could be the leadoff hitter. He's a lefty hitter. He would fill the void. Great. And I think this team would really be the team to beat. One can only dream for Juan Soto if he's made available at the trading deadline. I would love Juan Soto, because I'm hearing a lot of buzz about that. But I think Juan Soto is a pipe dream, and I don't think the Nationals are going to trade him now. So you're going to have to just wait for that. But if he is made available, the Yankees have to absolutely jump on that, because they can't miss out. He's a generational talent. So you can't mess up with that. If he's made available, you cannot allow the Dodgers or the Mets or the Red Sox or any of these teams get him. You got to go out there and go for the kill. You're right on the doorstep of a World Series. The Yankees are this close. I know this team is extremely bipolar. We know one day they look like they're a World Series team and the next they don't, but I think this team is ready. I might have to change my show to It's On Yanks instead of It's Over Yanks. I mean, that's how great this team has been. They've really made me happy. And I'm sorry I haven't done like a rant show in a while. I've been busy. The Yankees, I mean, really nothing to really complain about, but been caught up with things, and I haven't done a show in about 2 months. But nothing really negative to say about this team. But, they got to do – they still don't know how to hit with runners in scoring position. They got to fix that. Always relying on the home runs and home run or bust mentality team. Got to hit with runners in scoring position. You can't always go for home runs. Manufacture runs. That's the main thing. Make contact. You have no outs. The base is loaded. Go for a base hit. Go for a double. Don't always go for a home run. But this is what this team consistently does all the time. They're doing a lot better this year, but there's still things that have to be fixed on this team for them to be a championship caliber team. But I think they are very, very close. I think this team has what it takes to be a favorite to win the whole thing. But I think they're a couple of moves away, and then they could be fine. Aaron Hicks has to be DFA'd on this team. I'm sorry. He's got to go. But I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap that he got 3 hits today. I know he was 3 for 3. He's got to go. He's just terrible, the guy. He's a cancer to the team, and I don't believe the Yankees could win a World Series with him on this roster. Because just think about it. He's going to be up in a big situation, a big clutch situation, in the playoffs. You want him. You want him like with the game on the line. And Joey Gallo is another one. Joey Gallo has to go. I mean, Joey Gallo is another one that is just a total like he's a fool. This guy. He's just all he does is hit a home run or he walks. He's got to go too. I want these two guys DFA'd. And as far as Josh Donaldson coming back, I'm waiting for him and Stanton now. We need these two guys back. There's been a little bit of adversity with this team. They've fought through it. They get injuries every single year, and they've fought through it, and they always make the playoffs. And we lost half of the bullpen is gone. I mean, you lost Chad Green, you lost Chapman, you lost Loizaga, Britton, and they're still winning games. Who would have thought? This team just fights through injuries every year, next man up, and they make the playoffs every year. But this is the year they got to win it. The World Series is in our hands. We got to win it this year, people. I mean, this is it. I mean, enough is enough. It's been 12 years. This is the year. I could feel it. I haven't felt this way since 2009. They better win it this year because I'm going to be really, really upset if they fail again in the playoffs. This is the year, man. I mean, that's it. No messing around. Cashman, when you approach the trading deadline this year, go for the kill. Go out there and finish the job. Don't let back. Don't hold back. That's it. All bets are off. The gloves are off. You are on the doorstep of a World Series this year. You go out there and execute. You go get the pieces that you have to get for this team to win a World Series. Get a freaking reliever, get a starter, get an outfielder. Do whatever you got to do to make this team a contender. They don't hold back, and the Yankees should be an excellent team. I mean, this team is a very great team. It's the Yankees, Dodgers, Mets. I mean, how do you feel about this team, Kevin? I wanted to ask you too.
Well, salute everyone. I am here, part of the It's Over Yank podcast with my main man, Michael. Michael, I agree with your sentiments there. The Yankees need to upgrade in the center field position. They need a center fielder. Aaron Hicks is not cutting the mustard here. Although he's not even playing smart defensively. You saw in that Baltimore game on that bloop single to center field that fell in. He just didn't go all out or track the ball correctly. And they're lucky because they could have a 3-run homer. They lose that game. Chapman has been a little bit spotty. Also, prior in that same series, he got there was a base hit and he had a late start to try to score and he got hit. He got caught out at home by just a little bit of fraction of a second, and that shows that he's not being engaged or properly playing smart IQ baseball. It's something wrong with him there, getting caught at home. Also picked off at second base in that same series. A lot of those are fundamental mistakes. And at that age, if he's making that fundamental mistakes, it makes you worry. He's 32 years old and fundamentally he's playing the game challenging and becoming a negative with the fundamentals. Time to worry if you're the New York Yankees. Now, one thing it's very disappointing, we don't have a center fielder to bring up yet. They tried Esteban Florio. Let's face it, Esteban Florio is not a major leaguer.
No, he's not. They've tried with him several times. They keep bringing him up, keep sending him down. I mean, you gotta. I mean, you gotta make a decision on this guy. Either play him or trade him, and they do that with a lot of their players. I mean, they did it with a lot of guys. They did it with the other guy now, JP Sears. I think he's a guy that could be a weapon in the bullpen or the rotation. He's pitched great that last game. Leave him up here. Why keep sending guys down and then bringing them up? It's like they don't know what to do with these guys. But you have to keep them up. Look at Andujar now. He finally got his chance, and he's thriving. I mean, Andujar is great right now.
With JP Sears, he comes up as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
He pitches, and he's going to be out for the next 4 days. Now, what you do is, why have him on the roster, occupying a roster spot? You can send him back down for his time back, and bring in a player who could use, or everyday player, or a bullpen arm that you could use. That move I understand. But when you have a position player with Esteban Florial, they give him Esteban Florial has gotten a couple times, a couple at bats here, a couple times to make a name and impression, and really he's been lackluster. He doesn't show you that there's potential or flashes there. He just looks like, all right, I'm here. I go there, get my couple at bats. We thought he was going to at least get the speed game going, on bases, stealing. Even his defense, it's nothing to write home about or anything to stand out and nothing memorable. With Tim LaCastro, we haven't seen Tim LaCastro now from almost a month, but we're still thinking, what's the last impression you have of Tim LaCastro? Him stealing every freaking base impossible.
I like Tim LaCastro. I think he's a great option off the bench. I mean, he has speed. He's a weapon. He could be a threat on the base pads. And I think he's actually important to this team. He actually reminds me of like Homer Bush and in the late 90s when they had Homer Bush, the Yankees. And Homer Bush was always a threat to steal every time he was on the bases. And I think LaCastro is that type of a player. So I think getting him back will be a plus. But do I think it's a major loss? No. I mean, but you got to get Stanton and Donaldson back. And, LaCastro will be really a plus on this team. But I agree what you said about JP Sears. But you never could have enough pitching. And I still think the Yankees should add another arm at the trading deadline if they can, like Frankie Montez or Luis Castillo or one of those guys, because you never can have enough pitching. But I know the Yankees are not going to go to 6-man rotation, and they're not going to take anybody out of the rotation. So they're going to probably just keep what they have. But they have to make like an impactful move at the trading deadline. And whatever they do, I think they'll be a favorite this year. And Juan Soto was just like that's just a dream. I mean, I wish we could pull that off, but Benintendi would make me happy because they have to get a center fielder or a left fielder. Like that's a must because Aaron Hicks is just like he's like rigmarole. I'm just sick of this guy in the lineup. I want to puke every single time I see him in the lineup, and I want to puke every single time I see Joey Gallo in the lineup. So that has to change. But they're afraid to cut Aaron Hicks because they feel like they're indebted to him because they gave him a 7-year deal, and he's got 3 years remaining. And I think it's $30 million left on the deal because it's 3 years, $10 million, so $30 million. So they're afraid to cut him. And what team's going to take him? So it's like we're stuck with this guy. But I still think there's a chance they could cut him. I mean, they could DFA him.
I don't think it will happen. I think we're stuck with Hicks. The worst case scenario, would love to keep Aaron Hicks as a 4th outfielder or 5th.
Not me.
And the person I would like to get in a trade, and just even if we pick up a minor reliever, or something, trying to find the next Clay Holmes. If you could get Gallo off, he's an expiring contract. Ooh, let's face it, some baseball analytics nerds and executive, there's a huge value in Joey Gallo. The eye test tells us something different. He has not produced well in New York. He's 0-2 Gallo, who's batting 9th. Yankees batting him 9th doesn't help, but that's where he deserves to be batting. To be honest with you, in this lineup. And I know it hurts his trade stock value. If we could get a bullpen arm from one of these bottom feeding teams with a high price reliever that we could take and send Joey Gallo's partials. Remember, we only paying partially his salary. The other half is being paid by the Texas Rangers. And we could send that expiring partially salary to a team that needs some cap or money relief that are cheap. Then you do it. The thing is, this is the bottom line. Micheal Andujar, you got 30 days left here, personally, in my opinion, to tell the New York Yankees that, you know what, you could win this left field job with Hicks as your defensive replacement who could play either center, left field. You could miss and match. That's why, and you have Tim LeCastro. That's why I said Hicks 4th, 5th outfield. If makes sense if they don't want to get rid of his salary. You know what? You could put Hicks. You've seen Hicks play left field at times. And you could have Hicks be a defensive replacement for Andujar or DeCastro, so forth. I think it could work if you cannot get Benintendi. If you cannot get Andrew Benintendi here, and it's not going to cost you a lot, then you know what? I'm okay with that. Now the Yankees right now are playing well. They're pitching phenomenal.
They're doing great.
Now, do I see a 6-man rotation? You know what? Everyone says no. I actually think they will. I think the Yankees are doing little things outside the box, but I don't think if they do a 6-man rotation, I don't believe it's to bring in a new arm. Because I don't think that blockbuster arm is out there. No matter how much we like.
Yeah, Frankie Montas would be a great addition because
I don't see him being traded this year. I think Oakland will hold him. He's still under control. And I don't think teams are going to give up the ransom for him because, right, let's face it, if the playoffs started tomorrow, the teams that are currently in the top echelons, they already are set. I don't see teams going out there and trying to get up and give up for Montas or try to leapfrog because they think that the American League is top heavy or the National League is top heavy, and you're not seeing the Mets adding Montas.
The Oakland A's are completely out of it, though. Usually, the teams that are like out of it and they're sellers, they those are the teams that you have to make trades with. The teams that are buyers, like Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, those teams are not trading their best players because they're the buyers. So I agree
with you, Michael. The only thing I'm saying is that the middle of the pack teams that are like a wild card, secondary wild card, even if they get a Montas and a Castillo, although you never poo-poo it, I don't think they're gonna have enough firepower to leapfrog top heavy New York, Houston. Yeah. And I don't think the Astros are going to add Frankie Montas. I don't think Oakland will send him there to see him over and over to face him. Dude, you're looking if Montas will go anywhere. It's going to be anywhere from the Central American League, White Sox. But is that going to take the White Sox and leapfrog over the other American League teams? I don't think so.
Well, this is an interesting point, though. The Yankees, as they're currently constructed right now, don't need a starter because their rotation's phenomenal. But so let's say if one of those guys get an injury, then you're going to have to add a starter because at the deadline, because then I'm just saying, God forbid, knock on wood, they lose somebody and you're desperate for a starter because you only have 5, then you get to add to your rotation. I mean, it's like
correct, but you prepare. Yes, you always prepare for an injury, but you don't plan on getting an injury. That's a foolish mentality. If you're going to go, oh well, let's get this guy because I think someone's going to get injured. Then that's not. I don't
wish that. I'm just saying, God forbid, but I would go with the 6-man rotation thing. You're right, and I think the Yankees are thinking outside the box, and I think they're going to do something different that they haven't done because I never seen them really go to 6-man. But I think that it's going to be kind of like a little overkill. You add Frankie Montas, Cole, Severino, Cortez, Tyone, Montgomery. I mean, they got enough pitching. I mean, they're starting pitching as of right now. I think this is a great enough starting pitching they can win a World Series with. So I just would add a reliever, add a center fielder, and maybe add a catcher. But Trevino is their starting catcher.
You don't mess with. You know what? As you know me, you don't. I hate, and I said it. Yeah, I said the H word. Kyle Higashioka. I don't like anything about him, but I gotta give him a lot of credit. Take away that him and Trevino both are the reasons why we have pitching coach Mac Blake, their philosophy, why we have one of the best pitching staff, second best in the major leagues, is because, and they have a lot to do with it. It's also the health. Tyone is healthy. He's pitching very well, very healthy, very solid. And they have a lot to do with it. Controlling the running game. As much we know, Kyle Higashioka stink at throwing batters out bases, but he also controls it. You don't have a lot of pass balls. You don't have a lot.
They called it. I think they got the 3 outs. Yeah. So they're getting ready for the second game. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. Yankees win 6-1 the first game.
Yeah, folks, we normally do the watch alongs here on the BX Sports Jedi Network. We have the Rangers hockey that we did yesterday, didn't do and today, this afternoon. We didn't do the early game, got back home from work late, and we're not doing the night game either due to the fact that we have the wrestling program coming on tonight. But we normally do and once the Rangers wrap up their Stanley Cup playoffs, hopefully we're hosting the cup, we'll get right back to the normal Yankee watch alongs and
one more thing, before we end the show in like 3 minutes. I just wanted to say, now, what do you think of this whole Josh Donaldson charade now? Now they're saying that I'm hearing from fans. First of all, look, you took on Josh Donaldson's contract, and yet you're paying him $30 million. Now I'm hearing fans say they're going to probably cut Donaldson. What team is going to take, because of this whole charade now, with the Tim Anderson thing? Like, how would they? First of all, they're not going to. No team is going to pick up Josh Donaldson. The Yankees are pretty much stuck with this guy this year and next. I personally like Donaldson. I think he really brought a lot of fire to this team, and I think he's been really great for the Yankees. You know me, I hated the trade when it first happened. I was going nuts. I mean, I was against the move. Now I'm actually okay with it because I think he brings fire to this team and excitement. But then that whole thing with Tim Anderson, I'm not going to get into that whole thing. That was just, I think,
we got a second here on it. We got a few minutes to talk about the Tim Anderson, Josh Donaldson situation. Let's give us our real opinion. Mike Rotunda, man, I haven't seen you in a while, man. Yeah. How are you? Now, let's talk about this. Tim Anderson, my opinion was these two guys do not like each other. They just don't mesh. They don't get along. Tim Anderson mentioned, it's like myself, my name is BX Sports Jedi, that's what I go on YouTube. And sometimes I make some predictions. I say, you know what? I'm feeling we're going to go on a deep playoff run or something like that. I did that last year with the Knicks, and they got gentlemen swept.
Yep.
It's like, for instance, you would come on and say, yeah, some Jedi mind trick you are. Yeah, some Jedi you are. Yeah, well, how's that going, Jedi? But you're saying it in a sarcastic way.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly, and of course, guys, we weren't there myself. I wasn't there. You weren't there. No one was there. But what it sounds like from John Donaldson's words and also from Tim Anderson, that's exactly what he said. He said, yeah, how's it going, Jackie? Or like, well, yeah, what's going on, Jedi? In a sarcastic way.
Yeah.
Now it got blown out of proportion to the second degree level. Now the White Sox are 500 team currently. They're not living up to expectation of last season.
They're mid-team.
They're mid-team. They weren't living up to expectation of last season. They came into that series in the Yankee Stadium. They were under 500. They were flustering. They were spinning their wheels. All to me, it was some way somehow of getting Tim Anderson to juvenate, galvanize the team. Tony La Russa, also fell as a clown mark, because I understand he has to have your players back, and you do that. Like anyone on my network, I will get your back, and then right or wrong or indifferent, then after behind the scenes, I will have a talk with you. Listen, I don't, if something were to happen, listen, this is wrong. I got your back in public on camera, but behind the scenes, just don't ever do that. So forth, just a little bit peek behind the fourth wall, and I think that's what happened here. And I think it's blowing out of proportion. I don't know why Major League Baseball wants to suspend him for a game. That I find that a ludicrous, stupid, idiotic, and hypocritical.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I think the whole thing was just immature by both sides. But Donaldson, I think the suspension was an absolute travesty. Come on, over a thing like that. And look, he wasn't saying that in a racist way. He even called himself Jackie Robinson, and him and Donaldson joked around about it when he was playing on the Atlanta Braves, Donaldson. So I don't know why he interpreted it that way, but it's just, I just think he shouldn't have got suspended for it. Now Donaldson is he was on the COVID IL, got over that, apparently got shoulder inflammation from COVID, which I didn't get that whole idea. If you ask me, I think he's faking the injury. And now this pulling a Jacoby Ellsbury now, that he's trying to milk the injury, which I don't see why he would milk it when this team is a great team and they have a chance to win the World Series. Why would you milk an injury?
Because he knows that his team, his manager, Boone didn't, and Boone is there because he was a communicator, liaison to the players. And when that situation happened, Boone didn't have Donaldson's back.
Well, yeah, the teammates didn't really back him up.
Judge didn't back him up. Judge said he didn't even speak with him until the other day on the phone. And now what I'm seeing is Donaldson, and this is all speculation. This is me. I think Donaldson says, you know what? I got a bum shoulder. You guys don't got my back. I'll come back when I feel like it. I'm still gonna get paid. You can't prove that my shoulder isn't ailing. I have an ailment that I can't lift my arm, whatever the case is. Sometimes certain things don't come out on an MRI. Soreness and inflammation or whatever other stuff. You can't. If I'm telling you I'm ill and so forth. So I think there's a bit of a stalemate there. You all know. Let's face it. Look. I'm not saying Josh Donaldson is a role model. Josh Donaldson could be a little bit of a douche. He's a douchey player.
Yeah.
But he brings an edge to this team. And I think the White Sox trying to blow up the chemistry that's going on in the Yankees here. And right now, despite that, they're overcoming it. Next man up. That's why the keeping around DJ LeMahieu was very huge. That's why you want to have depth. Now we see why, and we were scratching our heads. We remember me and you spoke in the winter, like, why are they bringing guys that want to play multiple positions? Before the 90s teams, you always had guys, you knew what positions they were, night in, night out, and you get all these interchangeable parts. It's because of this situation right now. It's good to have guys who could play multiple positions because now you could have DJ at third, and you could move them around, and then and Donaldson is out, then you got DJ, you could throw him there. You got Andrew Hall who could play left and third base. And that's why you now I see why, and it's coming right for us. I didn't see it that way. I'm going to be first to admit on the air. This is why and it makes sense why they're bringing players who can play multiple positions, Michael.
Yeah, that's why, because I thought it was a bit of a logjam bringing all these guys in. Donaldson didn't make sense to me at the time because he was 36 years old, making a lot of money. He thought he was at the end of his career, but the guy has really proven that he's a gamer. I mean, I love his energy. I love the fire. And you brought somebody in that basically replaced, I think, in terms of clubhouse leadership, Brett Gardner, because Brett Gardner was like the godfather in that clubhouse. So now you got another guy that brings the energy to the team just like him. So it was great bringing in a Josh Donaldson because he's a grizzled veteran, and he's like a real hardcore player. You needed somebody that brings that to the team because let's be real, the Yankees were like a soft, happy-go-lucky, I'm not going to do anything to you team. And Donaldson brought the fun back to the team, and he brought hardcore back to this team. Because
he brought an edge. Listen, what I think Donaldson's problem right now is he's with the little boy that cried wolf. When I mean little boy cried wolf, so many incidents, the
guy is a brawler. You have to understand, he's not like guy.
And now when something is minor, we're making a mole out of an anthill, and that's what happened here. And in my opinion, and like Mike Rotunda was saying, when you have a little bit of race in it, you scare people, you scare everyone. Which was it race? It's to everyone's interpretation. Now these days, you can't say anything with anybody getting offended or their feelings hurt, and that doesn't mean that you have a license to go and have a diarrhea word. No, you have to also be accountable of your words that you speak, because it means you could hurt someone's feelings and insensitivity. Of course, I understand that, but I think it was just something that was just blown out of proportion. I think Tim Anderson was trying to get his team motivated. They were spinning in the wheels. That was and I don't think he said, "Oh, let me jump on that." He was frustrated with his team, the play of the team, and that he was in. You take it wrong, heard things wrong you heard something in the wrong way. You took it in the wrong way, and I think that's what happened. He took it in the wrong way. He thought about it race, while Donaldson was making it sarcastic, and it got mixed up. That's what happened there, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think he'll be back, but all this talk that, what are the Yankees going to do? Is he going to play again? Are they going to cut him? Are they going to release him? No, because he's making they're paying $36 million of his contract. So you want the Yankees to cut him plus cut Hicks plus cut Gallo. You know the money they're going to have to owe to all these guys if they cut them.
They're not cutting no one. They're not cutting no one, Michael.
And Donaldson has got another year left with the Yankees. So what are they going to do? Shelf him for 2 seasons like Ellsbury? Because if you remember, Ellsbury didn't play for 3 straight years on the Yankees, and they definitely milked that whole contract out. So, but I don't think this is going to turn into a situation. Do I think he's faking this injury? Yeah, I think he's kind of milking this because he's pissed off at what happened.
You keep him away out of sight, out of mind. He goes away for IL stint or maybe, and then you bring him back. And hopefully everything goes away. You by the time he gets back on the field, you're looking at almost 3 weeks without seeing Josh Donaldson in the lineup. And it's over. You move away,
and so that's a great thing. Stanton is returning to the team this weekend, so that's a big, huge, a great upgrade. I mean, the great news for the Yankees, and you're getting a big bat back in the lineup, so that's huge for the Yankees. So that's encouraging news and great news. So this team,
okay. Of course Stanton is great bat. You know what? I'm actually liking the pickup of Carpenter.
Oh, yeah, I love Carpenter. I just want to see everybody together and this whole team. We need to be like a team that is deep and stacked. And Carpenter was a great pickup. I actually love that move. People were actually killing that move when we first got him. They're saying that he was washed up. He's old. He sucks. I mean, look at the guy's numbers. Look what he did with the Cardinals. He's another guy that's very good in the clubhouse. He brought something to this team. He's got that mustache. They're calling him Luigi now.
Here's the thing, though. When now Stanton gets activated from the IL and Donaldson, you're going to have to start cutting most rosters. We're going to have to cut players and move players. And that's going to suck because Andujar is batting over 300. I mean,
Andujar has been great on this team. He's like he made a mark as soon as he got called up. The guy's made an example. He's led by example. Now you got to send him back down. See, this is the thing I don't like what the Yankees do. They have these guys that contribute to the team, and then they send them back. They did it last year with Greg Allen and Andrew Velasquez and those guys. I mean, remember how athletic and exciting the Yankees were when they called those guys up. Then when they got those other guys back, they stunk. So you see how things change. But this team is just so good. Doesn't matter who's playing on them now. They just play great as a team, and everyone contributes, whether they have their everyday players or their second and third string players. So everything looks like it's working out great. Like I said, I just think we need to make one more big move at the trading deadline. And this team, the sky's the limit for this team. I think they're going to win over 100 games. I think we're going to win maybe 108, 110 games.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this team is for the last 2 months, they've done nothing but made me just talk very highly about them and been very, very blown away and impressed with them. I mean, I didn't do a show for 2 months, and we're in June now. And last year at this time, this team was god-awful last year at this time. I mean, they were playing awful baseball. Imagine if we were doing shows about this team last year. My head would have probably exploded.
Oh, I was here. I was doing not yet in July. We were concerned. This time last year, they were getting swept in Detroit.
They were horrible. They couldn't sweep and beat the Baltimore Orioles. They couldn't.
Then the Red Sox came in here this weekend last year, and they swept us. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. It's just a different outlook, man. I mean, and I can't believe we have the same exact team from last year. Everybody was complaining, including me. How are we going to do this with the same exact squad? No less, I don't even think we were going to make the playoffs. I was saying fourth place team. Now look at this team. All right, we haven't ran away and hid yet in the division. I think we will. The Mets have completely locked that division up. They're 11 and a half games up. But the Yankees, what they just have to do, what they haven't done yet, is put distance in between them. They have to still they haven't, locked this division up by any means just yet. They still have a lot of work to do just yet. But I think once they pull away from this division, then we could really be in a sigh of relief and say, all right, now go out there and take care of business and go finish the job.
If they with about another hour, first pitch for the second game if they sweep this doubleheader and they go out there and they pretty much destroy Anaheim because the scores are lopsided. Anaheim, the most overhyped team, the most overhyped. I want to kiss their rear end team in Major League Baseball. It hasn't won anything, No.
And I know you were telling me before that the novelty act. You hit it right. Ohtani is nothing but an overrated player that they hype him up like he's Willie Mays or the guy like he's freaking the second coming of I want to say I'm trying to think of an iconic player. Ted Williams.
Ichiro.
Ichiro. Okay.
The next Ichiro, the next generation. He's nothing personally. He's a novelty act. He's nothing but a novelty act. Because he could pitch and hit, but he does neither one pretty good.
He's cookie cutter, and when he goes up against better teams and better pitches, he doesn't.
And then you can say, he doesn't have anyone protecting him. Oh no, you got the best player, Mike Trout, who's supposed to be the best player in baseball. Tell me how many playoff appearances he's got.
One in like the last 10 years.
Yeah, and that was what? That's it.
I'm glad we passed on Ohtani because if you asked me, I think that was a waste of money. And the guy gets hurt. Nobody wants to mention the fact that the guy's injury prone. It seems like they swept that under the rug.
They
the
sweep that.
Hurt
they gave him the rookie of the year while he was injured. You know.
Yeah, Andahar should have won that year. That was the year Andahar was up for the rookie of the year.
And how much you changed the guys' careers, man? If Andahar wins that rookie of the year, things are different. You never know his confidence level.
Way different. And he won the MVP last year, which I think that Guerrero should have won, by the way. I think that was like
That's another one, too. They didn't even sniff the playoffs. And Guerrero was one game. Anaheim was already thinking about golf and Cancun plans, before in September, while Guerrero was playing meaningful games down there.
259. I mean, already he had 45 home runs, but look at the guy's numbers. It wasn't like staggering numbers. They just want to make him win MVP because he hits and he pitches. That's all it is.
That's it. That's a novelty because he's a novelty. That's a novelty act.
So why do people say he's the best player on the planet? He's not even close.
And that bugs me because he got a lucrative contract to sign with the Anaheim Angels. Yeah. Meanwhile, Andujar, who has, he's a rookie contract. He was making peanuts when he came up, and I believe you give the kid the freaking the rookie of the year so he could earn that bonus. Yeah. You stole money. You heard it, Micheal Andujar. These stupid writers who are falling for novelty acts and overhyped. And guess what? Even if Ohtani would have came in second place, he's still making millions because he got a lucrative contract and we played in a professional league in Japan. Anyway, Andujar is doing it for the first time in the majors. Yeah, he was a minor leaguer. That's why my gripe is, and that's why I am to the cows come home. I will never be a Shohei Ohtani fan. I don't care if they put him in the pinstripes tomorrow. I am not a fan of him. I'm never going to be a fan of him because, and it's not his fault. It's to be mad at the writers for voting him on that. But still in all, I don't see the greatness in him.
No, I know. I've been hearing about this guy and all this buzz about him since 2018, since he came on the Angels, made his debut. And I'm sick and tired of all this hype with this guy, this 3-ring circus, Ohtani. Everywhere he goes, it's like they put him on billboards. He's not Mike Trout. He's not Juan Soto. He's not Mookie Betts. He's not Nolan Arenado. I'm sorry. He's not the caliber of those type of players. He's not Bryce Harper. He's not.
Juan Soto should be getting all the publicity here personally, because he right now, and that will help the Nationals. They're bottom feeder team right now. He should get some hype. Also, another player that Mookie Betts, you don't see peep out of him. No. He's in the Dodgers. He should be getting some hype too. He's one of
Aaron Judge. I was just going to mention Judge too. Judge is better than Ohtani. What are you kidding me?
Well, yeah, his numbers much better. And he doesn't, he gets Judge gets hyped. He gets media coverage, but not to the degree of Ohtani. And I think you could talk of other players around the league that gets the hype that they deserve to get to be exposed. And even Atlanta Braves, they won the World Series. Can you name me? Without any other players in the world champion?
Ronald Acuna doesn't even get hypes. I don't see any billboards of Ronald Acuna either. I thought he would be like a highly respected player around the league because he's popular. But he doesn't get the hype. And Fernando Tatis, I know he's been injured. He had that
exactly another one who they should be giving the Ohtani treatment to Tatis, if you ask me. Or any of the players in Toronto. Guerrero Jr., his father's a Hall of Famer. You could at least give some respect to that kid's name. Nothing there whatsoever. And all we hear, but it is what it is. I understand they're looking to appease to a different market. I think, they already have the American market set. And we already love the game of baseball so much, and they're trying to appease to another market. It's the same thing with the NBA. But one thing different about the NBA, Luka Doncic does deliver. He took his team, despite getting swept in the Western Conference Finals, he still took his team on his back, and of course they're trying to appeal to the European crowd, but also the European players get the job done. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2-time MVP. But here, the Shohei Ohtani, he hasn't done, he's a pitcher. He could set up for dominance. Every time I see him in Yankee Stadium, he's giving up more than 5 runs each time. So I don't see the it factor in. But let's move on from the novelty act.
Yeah, getting back to the Yankees to close this out. So we got the second game. The nightcap starts at 7. So that 7:05. So looking forward to that. Thank God both of these games weren't rained out. All that talk about rain out never happened. I told all these nervous Nellies on social media that they were going to play both games, and they're going to play them. And I don't know what was all that commotional about. I really am starting to think that these people are thrill seekers, and they just want these games canceled on purpose because they think that they have better things to do than watch the Yankees. Like, really? Like, okay, yeah, there's more important things in life than baseball. I get all that, but what are you going to do? Go play Fortnite? Are you going to go play, like, Call of Duty? Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, I think these people really want to see the Yankees game get canceled just for the hell of it. I don't get it with these people. They're, like, mentally sick. Like, why do you want to see rainouts? Who the hell wants to see rainouts? Rainouts suck. I can't stand rainouts. And I'm sick and tired of hearing people constantly, every time there's rain or forecast in this state, they freak out. Oh, it's going to get rained out. When it hasn't even been cold. And they're playing this game tonight. So that's the thing that just drives me crazy about this town. It's just like every time there's rain, it could be like 2% chance of rain, and they're like, it's going to be a rain out. It's like, I'm sick and tired. Like, just put this to rest. I know there's probably going to be rain out in the late future again, probably. But really, there's not going to be no rain outs today, buddies. So we're good to go, and we're playing this game. So they have to. This team, enjoy the team. They're an amazing team this year. They're going to probably win the World Series. You should put a smile on your face because I'm smiling. I'm happy. And I think the Yankees have to make a big move at the trading deadline. Do you agree? I mean, we have to make another big move at the trading deadline, like Benintendi or like Brian Reynolds or a reliever, whoever's available. So because there's nothing really negative to say about this team. I
want to mention this about the salt. I mean, that's about the rainouts. We New Yorkers are the salt of the earth. And what happens when you put water and you get wet with the salt, you run out. You start diluting, and that's what happens. That's why the New Yorker fans, they don't want to be in the rain. They get panicked with the rain because we are the salt of the earth, New Yorkers, and we can't have that, man. All that rain in Long Island. What happens with all that salt in the earth in Long Island, man? Forget about it. The magical place on earth. No, it can't happen.
Yeah, but you want to see a game get called just for spite, then it's like disturbing. I mean, like everybody wants to see the Yankees like play every single game. If it was in a perfect world, why don't you just build a retractable roof? But what I'm saying is, if it's conditions where you could play, you could play. It's not monsooning. Okay, yesterday they got that right. It did wind up pouring. But did it pour today? I mean, it was raining a little while ago. It stopped, but it wasn't anything to affect the whole entire night.
They're worried about thunderstorms. That's all it is. The lightning in the area.
Wet. Once the field gets wet, they feel like that's going to take a lot of time to clean up the field, and then they feel like they can't play in those conditions when the field gets wet. You see, football players don't cancel games when they have rain. They never cancel games.
You can't play, Michael. You can't play in the rain when the fields are wet.
Football's the only sport that continues to play when it rains. Because remember, football it's grass. It's different. It's it's not like it's a different field than baseball. So
dude, you got to run and you got no. It's just totally different, Michael. But they have a good drainage system in Yankee Stadium. They do. They have a phenomenal drainage system. But like I said, when you're in the middle of the summertime, they were expecting thunderstorm. They even possibly said hail. It's dangerous. No, it gets to be dangerous with lightning. Lightning is so unpredictable. Last thing you need, you got 10,000 people hiding under the Yankee Stadium. In Yankee Stadium, hiding under in a lightning strike, caught for catastrophe. No. Then we're gonna end up being like the Florida Marlins, with all the lawsuits. A second market team. Everyone's broke with all the different lawsuits and litigation. Nah, just prevent it. Call it. You know what? We'll play 2. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get hot. It's gonna stop raining, and this is the months. Trust me, we live it here, and I live in Florida, and yeah, we have a lot of rain delays, a lot of storms, and yeah, it looks beautiful in a minute, then it turns into like, oh my God, it looks like a hurricane, and then all of a sudden, an hour later, it looks beautifully clear. But when you start driving around, you see the aftermath, and safety always. The Major League Baseball and New York Yankees are not going to put people's safety at harm, especially people. Okay, even if they say they're playing back and then people leave, and because they went to a Yankee game, God forbid, they get a blowout or they hydroplane and they hit the wall.
Well, why I don't like rainouts too, because you have to understand something also. This could affect the Yankees' longevity because rainouts set them back, and then they could screws their game up, and then it could screw their mojo up, and it has done that to teams in the past. Rain has have known to set a team back and puts them in a slump. So
you can't predict that though. You salute Jerome Peralta in the building. He's at 6:14 in the morning. Jerome is with us here, and Heel is in the building. Heel, salute.
You can't predict that, but as long as it doesn't get them out of whack, and they still
you can't predict that. You can't get out of whack. You still got a lot of baseball to play here, and also you know. When I'm going to answer your question before we got another 10 minutes here before we get off the air. The Yankees at the trading deadline, I haven't heard any names that are available. I haven't seen,
names that comes to mind.
Benintendi is Kansas City officially hearing offers. I haven't heard, if Kansas City has an official, me, I'm a big fan of Benintendi's. I've been saying that for the beginning of the year. I'm a big fan of him. I think his swing translated in New York, similar, I think it works here. Every time he used to come with the Red Sox, he was a pain in the neck for the Yankee Stadium. I think this guy will be. He'll be phenomenal.
Be amazing. Oh yeah. So thank God you're a Benintendi fan, because there's a lot of fans I'm seeing on Twitter saying the guy's overrated.
Everyone in Twitter always, there's a lot of. One thing about social media, and God bless social media, because you have the right to express your opinions and your thoughts and your agreement, because I don't agree on everything anyway. And people don't agree with me and vice versa. And that's their opinion. But there's always a lot of contrarians. No matter what you do, there's always going to be contrarians. And they just do that just just to get the work going and, get people worked up or not worked up, get themselves.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm going against the grain type of deal. Yeah. And it is what it is. You know what? Numbers don't lie. He does real good. He does. No, I don't think we're going to get Salvador Perez. I think the catcher position, I'll leave it alone.
It's good. We got Trevino. We don't need a catcher.
No, Trevino, Higashioka, and you got Rolfet in case something happens. But as a backup in case one of them go down.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go with 3 catches.
No, maybe in the playoffs. You never know in the playoffs because But we know that's for down the road. And I don't think there's going to be a catcher available. I don't think Kansas City is going to make Salvador Perez available. If it is,
Perez, he's been bad this year. He's not doing good.
Maybe a change of scenery. They might say he might, kick up because he is an all-star.
You should ask me what catcher I want. I want Wilson Contreras.
And I don't, be honest with you, I don't see it either.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of Contreras for some crazy reason. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't.
He's a fiery player. I mean, the guy won a World Series with the Cubs. He was part of that team, and he's another guy that would bring amazing, fire to the team.
If Rizzo behind the scenes, because I really evaluate and I really respect what Rizzo comment words and what he brings to this team. If he says to the Yankees, you need to get him, I'm all right with it because he knows he sees something that we don't know. Yeah. Because we one of the best Yankees acquisition of a catcher under the radar that nobody liked, nobody wanted, nobody cared about was Joe Girardi.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Story that people were heartbroken when they got rid of who was the catcher?
Mike Stanton.
Yeah, they were pissed off when they traded Mike Stanley.
Stanley. I said Stanton, but it was Stanley. Thank you for helping me there. Yeah, Stanley. Stanley he won some. He was there. Yankees were bad, and he was one of the bright stars there. Great hitting, home run. I think he made an all-star team, and he was like, "Oh my God, you got rid of this guy." And Stanley didn't translate anymore after he left the Yankees. After that, they won a dynasty. So you traded an all-star catcher, similar, I think you could say, with what we got going on with Gary Sanchez. Although Gary Sanchez is having a nice season, with Minnesota, but. Look at where the you know what? I'll trade that for what we have in our pitching. Second best pitching in Major League Baseball.
Our starting pitching is the best in baseball. It's tied with the Dodgers.
They're second best in majors and the best in the American League.
Yeah, I was so critical about this pitching staff. I was totally ripping it apart. You know me, I was saying they needed pitching in the worst way, and this pitching is just completely shut me up.
I don't think they need another starter.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they're another starter because even if one goes down, you got Carl Schmidt, who's still there, JP Sears, who's there.
I mean, if this is the rotation they go with for the rest of the season and to the playoffs, I'm completely comfortable with it. You can never have enough pitching though, as the saying.
Yeah, And especially if they sweep tonight, the Anaheim Angels, where everybody was like, "Oh, wait until the Yankees play the Angels. They're gonna get it right in their mouth." Okay, how many?
Yeah, another trade for a starter. We need a reliever and we need an outfield in the worst way. I think
we need another alpha or reliever.
Yeah.
Really one that you're like, oh, whoa, and of course that's the type of deal that we need. A reliever, an alpha reliever, another Claim Holmes. And look for them to get someone who has a heavy sinker. Like I love the fact that they got and that kind of, and that's why you got to trust the Yankees suck at getting starting and scouting and getting starting pitching from other teams. Let's face it, their track record hasn't been great, but when it comes to relievers, they are phenomenal, Michael, of trading and getting relievers. They know what they're doing.
It was brilliant. I never thought they were gonna. That Clay Holmes thing came way out of left field. The guy had a 5 ERA. I was so critical about the move, and he just totally won me over. This guy, he's like I'd say he's the most. Him and Josh Hader are probably two best closers in baseball. I mean, you get the guy. Look at the stuff. He's unhittable. He's got a 0.0 ERA. They went away. Look, they went away from that. They were, of course. Now, when you again back to the catcher's position, they got guys who you could trust who on a 0-2 pitch to throw something in the dirt, down and low, and they could block it with runners on scoring position. Not worrying about leaving a slider. How many times we've seen so many times? Salute to Hector. Yankee Morning Brew. Man, Hector was with me when we talked about it when we used to break the Yankees down. How many times they kept throwing that slider away, and I kept it elevated. And and last year they were getting hit in the seats because they couldn't get the ball down in the dirt because neither catchers couldn't block the ball in the dirt with the pass balls, and they were getting hit with those homers last season. This year they keep they throwing the sinker down because they have catchers who could trust, who could block and stop it, and it making a big difference. Yes. And I was going to say, Heel said that the Angels are just a cute team that he still doesn't think they're going to make the playoffs. Well, I think the two.
I hope not. I hope Anaheim don't make the Angels. I mean, they don't make the playoffs. Yeah. I hope they don't.
I still think when it comes down to the two teams that are the Yankees' threats, like I said it probably months ago, was Houston Astros and the Rays. I mean, I don't see any other tests the Yankees have to pass this season, but those two teams. And the Rays, they split they should have won 3 out of 4, which was disgraceful. But
I'm still worrying about a little bit of Toronto. I want to see us do one more series, take 2 out of 3 from Toronto from one more series, and then I could say, you know what, I don't have to worry too much. I'm not worried too much about them, but they're still a pain in the neck team. But don't expect them to add another arm because they got.
I don't know. Even though I said the Rays are a threat, I still put that team beneath me. I don't know how in the hell a team like them, with the scrubs they have on their team, how they get it done. I mean, they basically take guys from the street and they win games. They bring garbage.
Here's with the and I say, and sometimes I scratch my head with them, and I started thinking, living and listening to different things about the Rays. The problem is, what it is with the Rays, why they're so successful. They all play fundamentally baseball,
and they're contact hitters too. A lot of contact hitters they have in their line. They put the ball in play. They make contact. They manufacture runs. Something the Yankees don't know how to do. So it comes with the territory, and they know how to develop their guys, their relievers, their starters. So it helps.
Yes, Hector, there is a third wild card team, and this year the top team in the American League gets a bye. Now this is going to be interesting because if everything settles the way it looks, let's say the season were to end today, the New York Yankees will be getting that bye. Now, if just think about it, if they come back after that bye and they lose that series, people are going to be like, "Oh, that bye killed the Yankees, their momentum." So it's going to be interesting,
because they have to win the division, and they have to wait for a team to be the wild card.
The wild cards to take care of that. Maria, salute, Maria.
It's going to take a long time. So, but I want to win the division. I don't want no stupid wild.
Hector says maybe the Angels make that third wild card. It's possible because it looks like it. Although Toronto and Tampa. That's what everyone. That's the darling. If you're a betting favorite, that's what you.
I might not even make the playoffs now. I did the Red Sox are, I think, only 2 games or 3 games out of a wild card. You know that?
I know. No, Austin says the 2 top teams get a bye. Thanks, Austin. I appreciate that one. So it's okay. So I don't know. Toronto, Boston came out of nowhere. Now that saves the Boston Red Sox from there were talks about. I'll tell you, 3 weeks ago, I'm thinking, wow, JD Martinez won't be a Red Sox. He's done. He's at the end of contract at the end of the year. He would fit perfect for the New York Mets. But now, if he's there,
yeah, JD Martinez, Devers, and Bogarts are hitting over 300. They're like hitting 300 apiece, both by all three, and their batting average is a collective team overall hitting 265. You know what the Yankees' batting average is? As a team, 230. How is the Red Sox batting higher for the Yankees and they're in last place?
Yeah, but they have no pitching. Well,
yeah, the Red Sox are not pitching.
They got no pitching, starters or relievers. They all stink. That's what it is. Angels, Toronto, Tampa are the only two other good teams not in first place.
Yeah, Maria, I agree with that. We got to worry about the Astros. They kill us.
And right now, the Yankees have taken the series from the Angels. They took the series last time from Toronto and split with Tampa. Now they had an opportunity to take 3 out of 4 from Tampa, but we're not going to rehash that there. So, Michael, give us your final thoughts before we say goodbye.
All right, my final thoughts. Well, the Yankees are, like I told you, we're in excellent shape. Just keep on rolling, keep winning games, keep stacking up wins, and they're an amazing team. I think this team will win over 100 games. I think we'll win the division. And like I said, the sky is the limit for this team. I think they're a definite World Series contender. Still have to prove some more things, of course, in the regular season. Got to stay healthy. They're getting Stanton back and Donaldson. Just got to get this team healthier and no more injuries. And they have to make a couple of upgrades at the deadline. I think this team is they're going to be a fantastic team. I mean, we're having a season for the ages here. This team could win like 110 games or something. So I think all is good in Yankee world, man. I can't say nothing bad about this team. I want Gallo and Hicks gone, and it's a few others, but that's about it.
We should leave Gallo in those maize field, in the corn maize field.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Plan his rear end there and never see him again.
But that about does it. And game 2 is coming on 7:05 for the Yankees, so enjoy that game. And we got to change this show to something. I think we're gonna have to change it to It's On Yankees.
Look at that! All right. So
hold on a second. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Michael has to go, and we'll see you next time here on It's On Yankees. Not It's Over. Say it, Michael. Give that catchphrase.
Okay, It's On Yankees.
The New York Yankees.
The New York Yankees!
Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, Costanza.
I must say, with all due respect, I find it very hard to see the logic behind some of the moves you have made with this fine organization. In the past 20 years, you have caused myself and the city of New York a good deal of distress, as we have watched you take our beloved Yankees and reduce them to a laughingstock, all for the glorification of